Hello, Adam here. Welcome to the next episode of the Adam Pigeon Post. It's like I didn't post yesterday because I went to Hampton Court to see the Stranglers. Still can't actually do it. Take the mobile phone out and sort of like film stuff for do interviews with people. It's sort of that might be a while, yeah. But yeah, Hampton Court yesterday, I would say that's probably the best one of the year so far, the 223rd Wranglers gig. It's always good when they include Toiler on the Sea, The Raven, and Genetics in one concert. All that's three out of the top four, as they so to speak. The top four are Toiler on the Sea, The Raven, Genetics, and Down in the Sewer. And so the only downside of these gigs is that they've all got sort of like seats. I mean, you don't really need to sit down to listen to the Stranglers. But as it was in Henry VIII's old place, they say the windows were still original. So the glass could have shattered or something. So they had to do something with the amplifiers to make sure that when they play their instruments that it wouldn't sort of like shatter the window. But today I thought I'd cover Slayer. Now, Slayer are a band that started in 1981. Tom Araya, Kerry King, Jeff Hanneman, and Dave Lombardo. They released a total of these albums here. They have a couple of live albums which I haven't got yet. Is it the Live Undead and Decade of Aggression and the Killology, the last Slayer album from the final tour. We'll get around to getting them, but I've got all the studio albums that they released. They're in the top big four of thrash metal, like Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax. The first album they released was 1983. Album called Show No Mercy. This is a really strong Slayer album, and yeah, if I was to rank them, this would probably still be my favourite top one. I mean, Evil Have No Boundaries, The Antichrist, Died by the Sword, Metal Soul, Face the Slayer, The Final Command, Show No Mercy. It's almost like it's thrash, but it's almost like a classic heavy metal album to me as well, with thrash in the early 80s, like Show No Mercy. This is a really good one. They followed it up with the Live Undead EP, which I don't have yet. Should get around to getting that. I think that's got Chemical Warfare on it. That's my favourite. But then, 1985, they released their second album, Hell Awaits. To me, this was like it has the front cover there. This was a bit of a step down from Show No Mercy. It's like, what can I, like a Kill Again, Necrophiliac, and the title track, Hell Awaits. But it seemed that with this album, it's like slow. It's gone in a slower direction. It almost seems like this should have been the first album, and Show No Mercy should have been the second album. But for this, with I wouldn't rank this that highly in my Slayer catalogue, but they soon, in 1986, everybody knows this one. They released Rain in Blood. The funny thing about when they released this album, they said they could fit it all onto a tape that lasted for half an hour because it only went on for 28 minutes. But it's sort of like, it's got Angel of Death on it, which everybody knows, that's their most famous song. Piece by Piece. My favourite ones are Epidemic into Postmortem. That sort of breakdown that they have when they play it live is just insane. From the 6 times I've seen Slayer. Obviously the title track, Rain in Blood, which has to be one of the craziest mosh pits in metal, really. And I've always been on the outside of them. I didn't really want to get in. And obviously I like Reborn and Criminally Insane as well. I would say this is probably the best Slayer album. Everybody says that, everybody thinks it's a masterpiece, as they say. Produced by Rick Rubin of Def Jam Records. And if I was to do my top 5 Slayer songs, Epidemic, Postmortem, definitely in it. 2 years later, another controversial, this one, they released South of Heaven. What can you say about this album? It's, again, they slowed it down a lot, like Hell Awaits, which is a bit weird. So they go for a fast, Show No Mercy, slow, Hell Awaits, fast, Rain in Blood, and now like mid for South of Heaven. But overall, the tone of the album is great, like in the title track. It's got my favourite ones on here are Silent Scream, Ghosts of War, Behind the Crooked Cross, and Read Between the Lines. Silent Screams probably would be in my top 5 favourite Slayer songs as well. And I think Mandatory Suicide, which is always played live. And it closes with Spill the Blood. But if I was to rank this album, it would go just under Rain in Blood, ahead of Hell Awaits, which would be more near the end, and Show No Mercy at the top. So far at the top is Show No Mercy and Rain in Blood. As Slayer go into the 1990s, for some reason I'm a big fan of the 90s output, so my rankings of the albums might change from here. This is one of the best Slayer albums, Seasons in the Abyss. It's got War Ensemble on it, they always play that live. Expendable Youth, that would be in my top 5 Slayer songs. Skeletons of Society, that was one of the very first Slayer songs I heard. Born of Fire, that's always great live. Dead Skin Mask, which they always play live. But overall, even though it's slow heavier, it's a slow heavy album. But it's got great guitar work. Tom Araya sounds great. Carrie King is great. Blood Red is great on it. If I was to rank this, I would have this slightly higher than South of Heaven. And it will be just under Raining Blood and Show No Mercy. Dave Lombardo, I think he leaves after this album. And they get a new drummer called Paul Boster, I think, for their next album, Divine Intervention. This album itself is like, it's a good album in terms of the 90s albums. It's like Sex, Murder, Art. It's probably my favourite. It opens with Killing Fields. It's got quite a few title tracks. It's got 7S3 and 9213. Yes. Serenely in Murder is a good one. But it's a good album for the 90s. It's not better than Seasons in the Abyss. I play it occasionally here and then, but here's where the controversy starts from the next album. I'm not too sure why this album is not liked, because Diabus in Musica. It's like, there's nothing not to like about this album for me. Death's Head, Perseverance of Pain, Love to Hate, Desire, In the Name of God, Scream, Screaming from the Sky, Points, Bitter Peace. I mean, Bitter Peace would be in my top 10 Slayer songs. This for me, and I'm only speaking for me, probably, here, is classic Slayer up there with Show No Mercy, and Raining Blood. I don't enjoy it more than I enjoy Raining Blood, but I enjoy it more than I enjoy Seasons in the Abyss. I urge people to re-listen to this album, because it came out at a time. It came out at another time, really, in 1998. So what they do? But if you haven't listened to this album in a long while, I suggest you revisit it. And then this is where it starts to get tasty for me. This is like, from here on in, it's all killer, no filler Slayer for me. Like, I bought this on the day of release, God Saves Us All. They had to put this front cover on because they couldn't actually show the front cover, the real front cover, in places like HMV, because it's like of a Bible. That's if I say, I can take this out here. That's the real front cover. But like, this album is just immense. From the title Disciples of Christ, which they always play as their intro song. Disciple, that is in my top 5. So I've got quite a lot of them in my top 5. New Faith, God Sends Death, Threshold, Exile, Seven Faces, Bloodline, Deviance, Warzone, Here Comes Pain, and Payback. This album just doesn't let up. And it was released actually on the day of 9/11 over here, I do believe. And this album just, to me, it's up there with the very best. Again, I prefer it to Diabus in Musica, so it goes just below there. So this is in the top 3 Slayer albums, with Show No Mercy, Raining Blood, this, Seasons in the Abyss, dive in music. This one is a pretty top Slayer album. Then in 2006, they released Christ Illusion. This one here had a number of sort of different front covers because it had Christ like that. But again, I think this album is like the older brother to God Hates Us All. It's like if you have God Hates Us All and Christ Illusion, it'll be like two albums that you can play back to back. They'll be similar. I mean, it starts off with Fatal Scream, but it's just like the best one for me is Eyes of the Insane, Cults, Black Supreme, Black Sermon, but the actual one with the top list, Catalyst, Control. This is like Tom Elliott, like his intense vocals on this album, like it's perfected to how he wants it to portray that he wanted to do on God Hates Us All, but he just steps up and steps up and steps up. I'd have these two albums on par with each other sort of thing. Christ Illusion. They took a 4-year break from this, and then they released another album with a few different covers, called World Painted Blood in 2009. This album is more of the same, but it's more moved away from God Hates Us All and Christ Illusion, and it's like separate, like they're perfecting their art. On here, it's like the song Beauty Through Order, Public Dismay of Dismemberment, Americon, Human Strain, Psychopathic Red, Playing with Dolls, and Not of This God. This album is almost a nod to Rain in Blood for me, Well Paint, and it's like we've done God Hates Us All and Christ Illusion, and now this is how good we are as a band, like making music. This is like addictive listening to as well. And then in 2015, we got the last Slayer album, Repentless. Again, this is a decent album. It's not as good as the three previous ones. And it has a different guitar player from the guitarist from Exodus, Gary Holt. I saw them on this tour at the Brixton Academy. It's like they released a single, When the Stillness Comes, and cast the first show, Stone. Everybody seemed to like Piano Wire on this album. It's like phone in thrash metal to me. I think my favourite song on it would be Chasing Death and Pride and Prejudice, the last track. I did like the single Repentless, but I wasn't really into the videos. And this came with a bonus DVD of Slayer live in Wacken. But the thing with this CD, if you got this version, which I think most people did get, it folds out. So I'll just show it to you here. It's like a piece of art where it folds out a bit like that. It folds out into a Slllaaayyyeerrr cross that they do. Yeah, they did the final ever Slllaaayyyeerrr tour of which I went to Birmingham because I couldn't make. I'm not really a big fan of Wembley Arena. I went to see the Downs there recently. I went to Birmingham for that tour, and on the original website they advertised it as the Birmingham Genting Arena. So I went to the Birmingham Genting Arena as about 20 other or so confused people went to the Birmingham Genting Arena, and we got a message from them because when it was 5:30 and we thought, why is everyone not here? It was at the Birmingham NEC Arena, so we had to go from the Birmingham NEC Arena, Birmingham Genting Arena to the Birmingham NEC Arena, which was quite funny, and we missed a victory in doing that. Got in time just for the love of God. And I went to the reunion show at Finsbury Park last year. They're still good live. I suspect they'll play live once every 5 years or so. But the favourite time I saw them was the first time at the Kentish Town Forum in 2009 on the 2010 on the Well Painted Blood Tour. That was the only one time I saw Jeff Hanneman. So that is my Slllaaayyyeerrr CD collection. As ever, you can like and subscribe to get more videos up to date like this. That's all. Bye.